faced toward the light. It's recording. It is definitely recording. Am I at the volume I need to be? Yes. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
This is the morning stream, but it's not in the morning, it's at night. TMS PM.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TMS. This is the morning stream, PM, for Friday, July 12th, 2019. I'm Scott. He's Brian. Hi, Brian. Happy Friday.
Because it's not in the daytime. It's at night.
It's at night.
PM.
That's right. How's your day? Did you do a weigh-in today?
I did a weigh-in. I'm 1.6 down,
Nice.
continuing my slow downward, not spiral, but the only way I'm going to justify the fact that I'm losing weight so slowly is the fact it's like, you know what? That's good. I'm teaching myself good habits. I'm
Right.
still.
Sudden is not good anyway. It's not good for your health, but it's also just not good for your habits. Like you can't maintain
right,
that.
and you'll just bounce back. You'll
Right.
like, oh, I lost 30 pounds today.
Yeah, it's exactly how you're supposed to do it.
Bounce right back.
That's how you're supposed to do it. I wouldn't do it any other way if I were you.
And that's how they make all their money with Weight Watchers. It's like, all right, slow, totally fine if you go slow. You'll pay monthly for basically the privilege of coming here and stepping on a scale. I did find a different Weight Watchers studio that's further up north, but closer to where I like to go lift or drive my rideshare vehicle through the gig economy. They open at 6:45 a.m. So basically, I leave the house. I go up there, I weigh in. I don't have to do any driving around waiting for the other place to open. So knocked that out, and then I went up to Boulder and picked up a couple people, took them where they wanted to go, took someone all the way out to the airport, had a ride from the airport to the south part of town, and then drove back from there to home, and actually did a freelance client call in the car driving back. So all my time was maximized. I was successful for the whole day. Booyah.
Did you, though? Well, let me ask you this. Have you tracked your miles at all? Do you know if your miles have gone up significantly, down? Like, where are they
Absolutely significantly. Like, how many miles I'm putting on my car?
Yeah.
Yeah, lots. Like, I think I've put 2,000 or 3,000 miles on my car just in the month that I did lift up in Boulder, which is good because that's a lot of short rides. It's not a lot of rides to and from the airport last month. So, but yeah, you got to track all that. You can't just track. It's funny. I was talking to somebody just a minute ago via email who is in Colorado, and they're going to start lifting. And I said, well, do you have a referral code? You want my referral code? Because if you have a referral code, then you can get, and the current deal is better than the one I had. It's 60 days to do 225 rides for $2,250.
Oh, wow.
So you have twice as long, but you don't have twice as many rides to do.
That's great.
So you've got the more time. So anyway, so hey, if you're in the Denver area and you're thinking about doing this, please let me know. Please be a referral, and I'll give you all the secrets to nailing that number without so that they're basically paying you the difference.
Yeah. No, you should totally do that. I like when people not take advantage. It's the wrong word.
Game the system.
Sure. It still sounds negative, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a thing you should do.
You're right.
Take advantage of it. Exactly. Maybe take advantage of it is right. Maybe that's what I should say. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, basically I picked up people and I dropped off people where they wanted to go. Lyft should be very happy about that.
Right.
So it's not so much an exploit as it is I found a really good location to do this and just, knock it out of the park a lot quicker. I did pick up a guy.
It's like it's like this. If it's a video game and there's a bug and it gives you extra cash, but you don't know, you're just playing the game they've given you. Unless they patch that, then you're not exploiting it. Same thing with Uber or with Lyft. Unless they say, you can't do it this way, go back to the other way. You don't agree?
Really, I disagree. I don't feel like it's a bug that I'm taking advantage of. I feel like it's I live in a location that gives me a very good advantage because people in Boulder don't like to go very far.
I see.
The fact that Boulder is just far enough from Denver that if somebody wants to go there, they're doing it a different way. But if they want to just go to the Starbucks or to the cleaners, I took a guy from his house to his work today. He works at Eclipse Cannabis Dispensary. It's a recreational dispensary. And the dude reeked of unsmoked pot.
Unsmoked?
If you know that smell. Yeah, so if you know there's the smell that weed has before you smoke it, that's a very like tangy, pungent smell.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this guy, if his clothes just automatically smell like that, or if he grows it in his house. But basically, he got in the car. I drove him to his little cannabis shop, and then in between that and picking up my next ride, I had all the windows down and aired out, vented out the vehicle, and it did get the smell out pretty quickly.
I've never smelled raw weed, like raw, unprocessed, not ready for primetime weed before. So if you grew the stuff, you'd probably just know that smell all the time, right?
Yeah, I think so. Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. Right.
If you've ever had a friend who had a bag of weed and you stuck your nose in the bag, then it'd be like, oh, okay, that's what unsmoked weed smells like.
I missed out. I never did it. I'm going to find a friend with some weed and take a whiff.
Sure.
See what I
get. Hey, dude, can I smell your weed?
So here's a fun thing for you. I thought of you because it involved gambling, and you like to gamble here and there.
I like to gamble.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And so here's the deal. I'm in this dream, having a dream last night. And in the dream, I'm at some swanky casino, but it was laid out like a mall. And this is the very odd thing about it. At the time, it didn't seem odd, but the casino was laid out like a mall. So all the places to gamble. Well, actually, just think about a mall you have now. Gut it.
Yeah.
And have all the stores that exist, like, you know, the Gap and the freaking whatever, hot dog on a stick. Everything would be moved out of it, and in its place would be gambling facilities, but they'd still be in these small stores with doors and stuff like that. It's very weird.
Sure. Okay. So like the Claire's boutique would be full of slot machines, and then the Orange Julius Sbarro combo would have poker table.
Exactly. You have it exactly right. And so it didn't occur to me in the dream that was odd, but after I woke up, it seemed very odd. But anyway, I'm in this dream, and I go to a poker space that was in some old, I don't know what it used to be, but we went in there, and it was poker, except you had to lay down on the floor. You know, like little kids, and they're watching a movie or playing. When you're laying on the floor like a kid on your belly watching TV, and you're just kind of propped up on your elbows.
Oh yeah,
that's how you played. It was weird.
So was there even a table, or did you just play on that little bit of carpet between everybody laying down on the floor?
It was just the carpet, I think. And that includes the dealer was also on the carpet facing us and dealing cards and, you know, calling bets and stuff like that. And we're sitting there.
Sit crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We were like we were all just like kids in the summer, you know, looking at fireworks or whatever. Anyway, so these dealing cards deals out the first card, first two cards, whatever it is. And what we were betting with were these, they weren't chips. They were these little bone looking things. You know, like somebody will throw bones like dice and then predict the future with the bones. It's that kind of weird.
Oh, yeah, right.
Voodoo
like
bones or whatever.
Bones, sure.
It was like that, and there were little tiny bones and a couple of big bones. And by big, I mean like this big. The tiny ones were like that. And you were you were allotted like 3 little bones and 2 big bones, and that was what you were betting with. And I kept eating them for some reason. Before you get around to me, I'd eat like a big bone and say, "Are you gonna bet?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm all out. I ate a bone. All right, we're skipping you then."
You ate your bones. Oh my God, you're eating your chips.
Yeah. So I ate this bone, and then he skipped me, and then I can't remember what happened after that. It's a little blurry. There was a chase, somebody in the ceiling doing some kind of ninja thing. My sister was involved somehow, and then I woke up. But it was the weirdest dream, dude. No sense, nonsense. I mean, I don't even have anything to compare this to. I don't even have like an experience where I can go, "Oh, that's because that one time this happened." Like none of that. It was just like
I mean, I can think of like, when if you're playing a home game of poker, you might play using Raisinets or some other easily distributable food item, and you might find yourself like, oh, I just ate a licorice nib. That was $5 or whatever.
Right. But I had bones. They were bones.
Bones. Like, why would you eat bones,
Well,
Scott?
and they were a bit like what's that candy called? They come in like banana shape and little round orange shape.
Oh, runts?
Runts. They had the consistency of runts, but
Well,
they still seemed like bones to me.
There was a candy that I think was made by Sweet Tarts.
Yeah.
By chance, that were shaped like little bones.
Oh, really? Let me look at these up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you basically had everything you needed to make a full skeleton. You had some skulls in there and some torsos. I think you basically had
So like
skull,
it's like a Halloween thing, sort of. For
yeah.
Right? Oh yeah, look at these.
Yeah, and they're like Sweet Tarts skeleton, right?
Yeah, little bones, skeleton head. There's like a rib cage thing. They weren't colored like this. They were all white, and they also weren't shaped like this. They were like sharp bone shards. But now that you say it, the consistency, like the actual taste and bite and all of that's probably just like these. I don't know, dude. I had no idea.
Bizarre. Dude, that's really, really crazy.
Oh, and
at
some point, I forgot about this part. At some point during the game, and there's no good time frame to any of this. I couldn't tell you when it happened, but our dealer got up and said, "Yeah, okay, you guys look like you got this. I'm gonna watch Reggie," is what he said. And
I'm gonna watch what?
Reggie. I don't know what that is.
Reggie. Okay.
He sits back in his couch, and he lays there, spreads his leg like mansplainer legs, just out, and watch some sort of football or basketball game with somebody named Reggie. While the rest of the time we tried to play poker by ourselves, and I kept eating the bones, and it was just a very stressful dream. I hated it. It was bad.
That's bizarre. Now, there's the Sweet Tarts ones, by the way, which are just skulls and bones. So just like a skull shape and then a bone shape. But then there's the other one called Candy Bones. That's the one that had like the hands and torso and feet. I'm putting a link in.
There it is.
Do you remember those?
Yep, and there are white ones in there.
There are white ones in there, yes.
Okay, now It looks familiar. Maybe I did invoke these or something.
That's funny. Yeah,
Candy bones. Look at these.
That's funny.
Oh, you can put them together and make a little candy man, a candy skeleton man, if you had all the pieces.
Oh, don't say that 2 more times, Scott. Careful.
You're going to get a mouthful of bees. Mouthful of bees. Yeah, right here they got
But
a
they'll
picture.
all be different colored and chalk flavored.
Yeah, of course. There's a picture here of a skeleton all assembled up in those candies. That's cool. Anyway, it was dumb, and I regret having the dream.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to know about the chase. I wish you could remember more.
I remember so little about it. It was like a thing where
states.
It was one of those things where we were leaving, and then somebody in our group, and I think it was Wendy for some reason in my head. It's Wendy said, "Oh no, I left something in there, but they weren't letting anyone back in." And the part of the dream I do remember is there was like a broken window that was in the middle of being fixed, and the repairmen weren't paying very good attention. So Wendy or somebody vaulted through the broken window and like ran around in there, got it, and then the whole place erupted with like defense officers and stuff.
Yeah, security and wow.
They went after us for getting her purse or whatever we left.
Figures.
Figures
it'd be Wendy.
I know. It was so weird. It's almost as weird as that one with you sitting with your head on a chair. That was one of the weirdest dreams I ever had.
Yeah, the weird. That's bizarre. All right, cool, great.
Anyway,
Jeez.
Tell me about this thing I can't make sense of here.
Yeah, I know. I put it there so big. Well, it's funny because it's pretty darn accurate. So tonight, this should be something hopefully fun to report back on Monday. But I'm going to the Colorado Shakespeare Festival, which is an outdoor. Actually, it's Boulder, Colorado Shakespeare. It's basically at the college up there, University of Colorado. They do Shakespeare for 2 weeks. Shakespeare. Shakespeare. And they're doing As You Like It tonight. And I've never seen any performance of As You Like It. I've never seen any of the movies. Kenneth Branagh has a movie with Bryce Dallas Howard and Kevin Kline. That's As You Like It.
I'd never heard of this.
Done for HBO.
It's not even one I've heard of before.
It's about a girl in a world where a girl gets cast out of a kingdom and has to go into a forest and meet weird people.
Whoa. I'm in there.
Yeah. Including a guy named Hyman.
Really?
Yeah,
Great.
there's a guy named Hyman.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm noticing here. Let's see. This movie you were talking about, directed by Kenneth Branagh. You're right about that. Brian Blessed. We were just talking about him. He's in that. So that's cool.
Oh, Brandon. Okay.
Yeah. The guy from.
Wait, 12th Night is the same. Talizorel says, or Tally Zorel says 12th Night is an alternate name. I didn't realize the 12th Night and As You Like It were the same.
I didn't
thought
either.
12th Night was a separate.
I've never even heard As You Like It, so that shows what I know. Alfred Molina is in that, so the guy who said "Throw me the idol, I throw you the whip," and he's also Many Arms Man and Spider-Man 2.
Oh, Jeannie says no, they are not with 12 exclamation points.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's What You Will, not As You Like It. What You Will is 12th Night.
Oh.
I love the fact that we've got an all caps battle going on in the chat room about As You Like It, about a Shakespeare play.
Great.
This is great. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Everybody's fine. We're all good. It's okay. It's all right. We're good.
Everyone relax. We got this. We're good. Anyway, so you're going to that.
Hug it out. So yeah, it should be kind of fun going there with one of our friends, another couple. They got a babysitter, so we're seeing it with Kathy and Scott.
Oh.
So we'll see. I have a lot of Scotts in my life. Scott.
How many Scotts do you have? I have more Brians than Scotts, I'll bet.
Oh yeah, I'll bet you do have more Brians than I have Scotts. I have 4 Scotts in my life.
I have 8 Brians, I think.
Okay, yeah, I can't compete with that.
Only 2 of them are podcasting with me. Wait, is that true?
Sure.
Let me think here.
Well,
Brian.
me and Brian Dunaway.
Yeah, I know YouTube.
You're not still doing anything with Brian Huff, right?
Yeah, no B Huff, no. Who's the other Brian that we know in our little group? I can't think of it.
Oh well, Roe's real name.
Yeah, his real name is Ryan.
Yeah,
Brian,
Roe's real name is Brian. Yes.
That's true. I guess I don't really podcast with him though. But yeah, I know a lot of Brians, not a lot of Scotts. I know there are too many Scott Johnsons. Go search and realize what a nightmare my life is. Hey, Brian, that's great. Tell us what you think of it.
Get off scot-free.
I wonder if you'll like it. I wonder if you'll like the movie As You Like It. Or not movie, the play, rather.
The play?
Yeah.
I hope so. Oh, yeah, Brian Brushwood. How can we forget about Schwoody?
Shoot.
We don't do shows with Schwoody, though.
No, we don't do shows with him, but, he's in our circle, I guess.
He's in our circle.
He counts. Yep, exactly. I can't think of anybody else, but it's like 8. So actually 9 Brians that I know because I forgot about them.
Wow. That's a lot of Brians.
Yeah. Too many Brians.
Yep.
Anyway.
So quick plug before we move on to Tabletop Dan. Just a few days left. I think I'll do 4 more days of allowing people to sign up to be a contestant for America's Next Top Podcaster. We are looking for 12 new contestants for season 2. So go over to America's Next Top Podcaster.com. Don't put an apostrophe in there. I don't know what'll happen if you do, but don't. And fill out an application. And we want you. We want you for our next season of America's Next Top Podcaster. Please.
Yes. Amen.
Join us.
Amen, brother. Whoops. That was supposed to be Amen, brother, and it didn't play. That's okay.
Oh.
I had a thing that
I like that Schoolhouse Rock song, though. That was good.
Yeah, what is that? Hold on. That's from. I guess from something.
That's Price is Right, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some kind of something there.
Oh, the number 5 can be added to just about anything you want it to, and it always makes things 5 more than the number that was previously.
Nailed it. Absolutely.
Call Bob Doro. I'm in. I've got this one.
Yep.
Is that the guy's name?
I don't know his name.
I'm just a bill, and I'm only. I think that guy's name was Bob Doro.
He's dead, right? He can't be alive. There's no way he's living.
I don't know who he is, but he's dead, right?
Yeah, he's got to be dead. He was already an old voice back then. Has to be dead.
Yeah, let's see. He is very dead. Oh, not very dead. He died in 2018.
Oh, he's not dead at all, hardly. I mean, he's dead.
Just barely dead. He's only mostly dead.
He's freshly dead. All right. That bugs me out a little bit. All right, well, let's get Dan in here. Yes. I always forget what he's in this thing under. There we go. It's Geek Jock Blog. We'll get him in here, see what's going on, talk about stuff, discuss some things. Here's his little theme.
Be careful. May cause drowsiness.
Hello, Dan. Oh.
Oh.
Was he muted?
Oh, I see.
No, it's spinning.
I don't even see his video yet.
It's spinning. Here, let's go East Coast, see what happens. There he is. Dan, hi.
There he is.
Oh, hi.
The ether. Oh, hi.
Oh, his voice is weird. Sarah, say something for me.
Hello, Scott Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's much better.
That's much better. Yeah, it was just figuring itself out like it does sometimes.
Well, and hello, Brian Ibbett, as well.
Oh,
hello. Dan, Tabletop Man.
It's a very nice
Greetings,
greeting.
programs.
Very nice greeting. Hey, it's Dan, everybody. Talks about tabletop games and other stuff. I do have to ask Dan a question that is related to medical thing, but not exactly like normally when we ask you questions.
It's like Therapy Thursday, except with our own problems.
Yeah. So,
It's
Hey, look,
Pharmacy
there's-
Friday.
Is that
And there's
Mrs.
Janice.
Dan? Mrs.
oh, there's your wife.
Dan?
Oh, she didn't want to be
She's
there very
still in
long.
her. She's still in her scrubs from being at work.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I was hoping she worked in accounting.
That's the stereotype around here is that Janice always works in accounting.
right.
All right, so
Plus, I want to use the joke. Oh, are they?
yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
are they?
So Dan, here's my question. I am in the middle of trying to move to a new insurance policy because our old one was too expensive and dumb, and so we moved to one that's better with some people I trust a lot. And so we're in the middle of doing that. And as part of that goes, you got to call them and they ask you like 1,000 questions, right? 1,000 medical questions. Do you, like, if they say to you, in the last 5 years, have you ever been prescribed a medication from your doctor? And if they one time just said, oh, yeah, you, for that broken, this isn't me, for example, but I'm just thinking out loud. If somebody had a broken leg and a doctor said, oh, here's a Percocet, you're going to take 5 of these, and then you should be okay after that. And that's how it went. They had their hurt leg, they took their Percocet, they were done with the run, and they never needed it again. Do they have to disclose that on that call?
Well, do they have to disclose what you've been on, or do they have to disclose what they're doing with it?
I guess I don't know. I don't know how that works. Like, because the question was, in the last 5 years, have you taken any prescribed medication from your doctor?
Or more, what you were asking about, if that's what you're wondering, what do they have to disclose?
Well,
Your
asking
drug history and such, I think.
Right, and they're asking me if I can confirm that, or it's either yes or no. Because they ask other questions like, do you smoke? Have you ever smoked? Do you vape? Do you? What was the one she asked me that threw me off a little bit? It was a newish thing. Maybe it was the vape one. Oh, she goes, vape, including an e-pen, she said. Which I don't know what an e-pen is. I know what an e-peen is, but that's a whole different
weird
thing.
form of
I think it's just
new
a
vapes.
different. Yeah, exactly. E-pen is just a different kind of vape, I think.
The one that what's her name, Sophie Turner uses from Game of Thrones that you always see her sucking on is that thing's called something. It's super
It's
popular.
an E-pen, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. But anyway,
It's her Jewel.
There were other. Oh, that's what it is. Jewel. That's it. Anyway, she was asking all those kind of questions. I was like, no. Have you drank in the last 30 days? No. Have you drank in the last however many days? I'm like, no. And she says, have you ever drank alcohol in your life? And my answer is no, except the time I was in Mexico and they handed me one and I didn't know. So am I supposed to disclose that? I guess what I'm saying is,
No.
If you
don't
say
need
it
to
like that,
disclose
they'll just say no. They should just say no, like,
Yeah. And they're also
They
not going
know.
to care if it's like just one alcoholic drink in an entire 50-year life.
they're trying to see the person that just downed a 6-pack last night and goes, no, I don't drink.
okay.
Right, exactly.
I get
Versus the size of
with
the
those
house.
kinds of things, I get so ultra concerned about honesty and not forgetting anything that I
Like
think
they're gonna like do a hair sample and say, "Oh, looks like you may have had some rum."
I just for whatever reason, this was just built into me. I cannot mislead
Last
anyone.
year,
I
I
hate it.
see it in your hair.
Yeah. It only took like 10 minutes and it was totally fine. She was totally sweet and it went great without a hitch. But I still, every time she'd ask, I go, oh, let me think. Did I do that? No, I think no, I'd say. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good. I don't think I ever did that. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up because you'd probably.
To get the outlines of what they're going to charge you, because obviously if you're a smoker, a vapor, a drinker, and a moneymaker, if you have all those things going on, they're going to probably jack your premiums way up.
Yeah, I don't want
because you're
that.
at high risk for them having to pay something.
Yeah, don't jack me up is all I'm asking. That'd be
That
good.
they, to be honest, the only thing that they would probably see in you is is that you sit for large periods of time, blood and high blood pressure and, DVT risk and things like that. But that shouldn't really go crazy with your premiums.
I mean, they did ask about all that. They said, have you ever had this condition, that condition? I'm like, no. When's the last time you were checked for that stuff? Like 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay, cool. Like they asked all those things. And she says, how many times a week are you getting like 30 minutes of good aerobic heart-raising exercise? And I said, about 3 on average. Oh, that's great. And then she kept moving on. So, I mean,
it depends on if I just got my T shot or not. And then of exercise.
She never asked about that. Like, it never came up in any sort of conversation where she would say, have you recently or are you in the middle of doing anything? 'Cause I've only had the 1 dose, right? But that was never a question. Like, that kind of medication never came up. So, I don't know.
Your dreams.
My dreams
can give you vivid dreams, and some medications can give nightmares.
Yeah. You think that's what's going on with my poker bone eating dream?
I mean, poker bones.
Poker bones.
My stripper name in high school, Poker Bones.
Old Poker Bones. And where'd you go? Tell me your high school name. What was the name of your high
Kicked
school?
out of a strip club for doing that. I don't know, but
Dan, what was your high school name? What was the name of the place?
Name was Sachem.
Sachem High School?
Sachem
on Long Island. So there's a lot of Indian names. So all of our elementary schools were all basically Indian tribes. Sachem. So and I went to Sagamore and Seneca were the middle schools. There was Chippewa and Merrimack and Cayuga. They were all the elementary schools and such. And we had at the time, we had the largest graduating class, non-inner city graduating class in the country.
Wow. That's
great.
Great.
You guys graduated with.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We had 2,000 students my graduating class.
Yeah, and we had 1,700.
You graduated with 2,000 people?
Yeah. And Brian close to it with like 1,600, 1,700, something like that.
Is that right?
It was for me.
Was that your whole school, or was that your?
That was my senior. That was my
class?
Senior class. Senior class. Oh wait, you know what? Maybe I had that wrong.
Yeah, I think that was your whole school. That was my whole school. Was 16.
Yep, you're right. You're right. It was 2,000, and we were probably, I don't know, 600 of those kids. That's probably
because we had 1,300 in our graduating class. That was 3 hours on names alone. At the end of June in the sun, I got a huge tan by the end of graduation.
Still with you. Still looking good there, buddy.
Right.
So last week, I was at Cedar Point last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm envious.
Much fun. So there's also a water park right at Cedar Point. So we were there for 2 days. So DJ loves to swim and go to water parks. So we went to the water park the second day for a few hours. Janice and I were in the lazy river. And
Dan's breaking up. You
made Scott throw up.
Hold on.
I'm hearing him just fine.
Are you? I'm hearing him cut out real bad. Let me switch something real quick. Hold on. Okay, Dan, try that again. Tell me again. Who threw it? Someone barfed?
Janice and I are sitting in the lazy river, and I turned to her and I said, "Throw Scott out the most. Is all these people sitting here in a lazy river?"
Yeah,
totally. It's like a little bacteria, a slow-moving bacteria creek.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And every time you have the warm piece of water, and I just know that I'm like, oh, dude.
A warm piece of water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It wouldn't make me, I don't know if I'd barf. I just probably wouldn't be in it. I'd be just like not in it. That's how I'd handle it.
You wouldn't do the lazy river, or would you just immediately jump out as soon as it got warm, as soon as you went through a warm spot?
I mean, I've been through them before. It kind of just depends on how packed they are. So if they are just packed with like a ton of stuff or a ton of people, then I'm less likely. But if it's 2 or 3 people whipping through there, no big deal. I'll do that, and I'll do it in Vegas because they have that stuff so chlorinated that nothing's gonna live. We're all gonna die from that chlorine, including the bugs, so it's fine.
I feel like you probably can get pregnant in the lazy river at the MGM Grand, but the one at Mandalay is clean enough and fast moving and isn't surrounded by douche nozzles bouncing up and down to the latest Ed Sheeran track that you probably are in a safe space.
Okay, fair enough.
Faster the water, the more the filtered.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, that's horrifying. I don't like thinking about it. Anyway, well, that's great. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry, cut you off.
About like bugs and stuff, like when you're on rides, especially at night, because being that it was the 4th of July, there was a lot of it was open till midnight.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't a whole lot of bugs because there was kind of a storm coming in the first night. Second night, what was amazing is I thought it was going to be like an hour wait for just about everything. Because it's 4th of July weekend, but it really wasn't that bad. I don't know if it's just because there's like 14 different roller coasters, or because people just think, I'm not going to Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Not just 14 different roller coasters, 14 world-class roller coasters.
And they are awesome too.
Were we just talking? We were just talking about this place, weren't we, Brian? And some of the
we were earlier this week or last week. We were talking about Cedar Point.
This is the place. I didn't know he went.
This is a bucket list road trip that I want to make. Is out to Cedar Point. It's Ohio. It's it's close to Cincinnati, or what's
it's Sandusky, so it's right on the water.
Okay.
It's like I describe it as it's like a weird little penis going into Lake Erie.
Nice.
Well done. Because it's just a little outcropping over there.
That's what I would call it.
So you get a lot of storms coming in there. So I get on this ride at like 11:30, and I say to the girl that's in there, because we just walk right up and get on. I was like, should I worry about bugs? Should I not sit in the front? Because there was nobody in the front. I'm like, because this looks like a great ride. Should I sit in the front, or is it going to be really buggy? She's like, no, you don't want to sit up front. Not tonight. She said, go in the back. You'll really love it. And I didn't know why. I heard about some bugs and stuff, but I didn't know. Have you guys ever heard of mayflies?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if
they only
if you
live
really
one
want to
day,
get,
though, right?
What's that?
They only live one day.
They live one day. Now, some facts that I saw was they don't even have a digestive tract, most of them, because they don't need it, because they only last one day. They basically hatch, they fly, they mate, and they basically die. So they just exist to die. I don't know how that works. They're just basically food for the birds and stuff. When we were leaving the second night, because it wasn't as rainy and nasty, when we were leaving, anywhere that there had lights, kind of, like you have shining lights as you're going down kind of the midway or whatever, anywhere that there was a light shining onto the ground, there was just a ton of these mayflies just sitting there on the ground. When we went out front to go to the car, every step that you took was because they were everywhere.
That's
just crunching on them. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it was disgusting. I was like for like 12 hours, I just couldn't even move. We had a white car and we parked under a freaking light, just so we knew where we parked.
Yeah, and they would just basically
covered.
That's really gross.
So I had to go. All right, everybody, ready? 3, 2, 1, get in the car, because we didn't want. and they're completely harmless. They look like something that would just gouge your eye out, but they're harmless. They just do nothing. They just sit there.
Yeah,
but it's looks like
they just live for a day, party, and then die.
Yeah, so there's so many mayflies that hatch, and you can do, Scott, the last thing you want to do, I'm going to tell you to go ahead and do this. Search for like 4th of July mayflies 2019. There was so many that hatched over this weekend that it looked like rain over the water, is what they said.
Oh my gosh.
It actually triggered weather radar, because so many of them.
Really?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Wow.
And you see some of these cars, you see these people that parked under a road, a light, and it's just covered. It looks like snow, except it's mayflies.
Oh my gosh.
Did you find an image?
I found an image of there's a building, and they're just caked on the building. Just caked on it. Like sloughing off the side.
Send me a link, because I keep finding articles that say the baby Trump balloon may fly for the 4th of July.
Oh. All right, here, I'll find it. So if it doesn't have lights on, that's what they do. They go where the light isn't, right? Am I getting that right?
No, they go where the light is.
Oh, the light is, okay.
And then they just die underneath the light.
So
pretty much.
Oh my god.
I know, wouldn't
Seriously?
you die? I would die. I couldn't do it. Were you inhaling them constantly? Were you just breathing flies?
Oh, they're pretty big, and they're either kind of in the air or on the ground. Yeah. So they're not like in your face. They may land on you or something, but they're completely harmless. You just they have big wings, so you just kind of throw them off, but they just completely skeeve you out, but just by looking at them and see it and just crunching under your feet.
Oh my gosh.
I saw these kids were walking out of the park, and they're like taking their slides off, and they're walking out. I'm like, oh, you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, that's foul, dude. That's really foul. Every image I find of these, it talks. Oh, there's a window, dude. Let's give this to Brian. Every one that I find says Ohio. It's Ohio. It's always Ohio. Apparently, that's where the problem is. So good luck, Ohioans. There you go. Look at that, Brian. That's from the inside of a car.
Oh, nope.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm never getting out of my car again.
Yep.
I'm gonna drive right into a lake.
Yep. F that, dude.
Somebody put let's see here. Who put this video in the chat room? J.K. Grammer put a video of a gas station that's so swarmed by these.
You're kidding.
It's in the chat room. Look at this video, Scott.
All right, I'm putting it up. I'm putting it up on the. Are you kidding me?
I don't want to look at it because I'll start itching.
Oh my gosh. That's horrendous. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just getting some unleaded. I'll just be here standing here.
Oh my God, that is nasty.
That is truly. I've never seen anything quite like that.
It's convenient that it's at a gas station because it'd be like, all right, honey, light that match. We're just gonna toss it out the window and drive the heck away.
Holy Moses! All right.
Wow. Yeah, that's darn near evil.
Lovely.
Oh. Hey Dan, guess what I played last night?
Oh, good. Board games. Let's get to board games, please. Yes.
Yes. I played Slide. Oh, what is it? I remember here. Slide Quest.
Wait, you did?
I did.
Nice,
dude. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Did you play with 4 people, or was it just 2? And you get?
There were 3 of us.
Okay.
Tristan's girlfriend wanted to watch, and she says, I'm glad I'm just watching because you guys are all yelling at each other. Because that's basically what it was. Like, so for people who don't remember, this is the game where you've basically got a little labyrinth-style platform that has obstacles and things on it. You've got to get your little knight from one side to the other following a path.
Yeah.
And everybody's holding on to a little tab that's on one side of the board, and so you've got to communicate and coordinate to get your little dude moving around this thing without going in one of the holes. And pretty soon we got to the point where it's like, all right, Tina, you, Tina, you, Tina, you. Tristan, right hand Tristan, because Tristan was he had his left hand on one tab and his right hand on another, and then I had one tab. And so, all right, Tristan, this is both your hands. No, Tristan, no, down the always down the hole.
And you get to the point where you're like, Tristan, don't touch anything.
Exactly. But no, that was a blast. That's such a fun game, and we just went through one 5-stage world, and we still have so much more of this thing to go through. So
did you get a bit?
And once you get it all down pat, you'll breeze through, but there'll be just those times where you have like the epic save where Tristan puts one up and it just starts rolling down to you, and you just put it down and it just rolls around the hole and it doesn't go in there. Oh, those are those moments.
Exactly. And we've got, stages where we've got to like push bad guys into other holes and into traps and things like that. So yeah, it's a blast.
And there's points where you're not even breathing. You're like,
exactly.
That's awesome. And you got that based on Dan's recommendation?
On Dan's recommendation, yeah. 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whenever you recommended it, I bought
it. It was pretty much the hit of, it was like one of those unsung hits of Origins, because it was, it's a kid's game, but it's just so much fun that everybody grabbed one and they sold out so fast. And that's going to be, I'm sure they'll have a ton of those at Gen Con that everyone's going to want to go hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
But I got a really good
I'm definitely bringing to every Nerdtacular or whatever, any TMS Vegases or Nerdtaculars or whatever. I'm bringing this thing.
It's great for every meetup. You can just Friday night with, it's a beer and pretzels game where you just like, can you just be sitting there and you just start playing those.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really good.
All right, well, what are you playing? I can't wait to hear what you got this week.
So a game that was really popular, it's been popular for the last year or so. It got a Kennerspiel nomination for this year. I don't think they've announced those winners, probably within the next couple weeks. But this is a game, another really good group game. This is where I want to hear your guys' thoughts on kind of using this type of thing. You use a little bit of the internet to play this game. You're playing as detectives. This is Detective. This is by Portal Games, a modern crime board game. It's by Ignacy Cevicek. And what you're doing is you're trying to solve, there's 5 crimes in the base game. And you're using clues and you're kind of using your phone. And they have their own little website, but there are actually, spoiler alert, there are times in the game where the game will let you go to the regular internet to look up certain things. But they have their own little database that you're kind of going along for each one of these cases. And you have a certain amount of time where you're allotting time to go to a place to look up a clue and this or that. And you're kind of looking around, you're trying to solve this case. And then you're kind of, but what's really cool is it's kind of like it would be the 3 of us sitting there going, all right, Brian, well, what do you think about, you think this is a red herring? You think this means anything? And you may be looking up in the database and you're like, well, this guy's history says, he's a scumbag, so we better go question him. So, and something like that. So, I mean, it's got 5 cases that are kind of somehow intertwined. And there's also an expansion that came out this year that's called LA Crimes.
Oh, look
It's
at that.
Okay.
little expansion that has about I think it's got 3 new. It says 80s crime story, 3 new cases, and 5 new characters. Also by Portal. These will also both be out at Gen Con. But the game is just really cool. I kind of don't know. When I first heard about the game, I wasn't really into the fact of I don't want to sit here and look in the internet for crap. But since it's their own kind of curated site, and then when you do get to the point where you can go on the internet, it's kind of cool. Like it's not like just go looking for crap on the internet. No, it's kind of it's a little more streamlined to what you would be looking for, and using their site is really, really cool. I highly recommend this one. It's a huge hit. I think this is really cool for, like, Scott, this is a good one where you got all the family over and, you just want to play a game at the night and just have some fun cooperating and stuff like that. Or, or crazy neighbor night, any one of those things would be great for either one of you guys. I think this is it's a really good one.
It sounds great. We had to give it the name again for the chat room, so they've got the name again.
It's called Detective, a modern crime board game.
Okay, there you go.
By Portal Games.
And that LA expansion, what I like about that is it looks like an 80s ass logo, man.
Yeah, it does. Like, you're right.
Yep. And
it looks like Don Johnson is about to come walking out of that game, and
it's very cool.
Totally dig it. On his loafers.
I have good news, by the way. My game that I've been working on for a while is now samples are made. Dan, there's one coming to you, I believe, so you can help test. I got one for Brian, myself, a couple others. Nice. It's just in sort of sample mode right now, but they're finished, complete decks, and we'll see if they're any fun or not. So more on that as I know it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all the fun I had with the kids is all for naught. Maybe that was just only fun for us. I don't know. That's why I need testers. So I guess we'll find out.
Bring it to Gen Con and show it around.
Yeah, that may. Well, that's definitely the plan, is to move that thing around some of those cons once it gets out, if I can get the damn thing out. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Dan, the Tabletop Man. Any other games or anything else people should be looking for this weekend before we let you go?
That we actually we did our first kind of episode 0 or episode 1 of Pair of Docs, hosted by Bridget Levi.
Oh, cool! It's great that you've got Bridget involved in this too. So it's you and Jerry Conway, right? And Bridget hosting.
What's Jerry? I can't remember Jerry's last name.
Not Jerry Conway. Jerry Conway's the guy who created the Punisher. Jerry Tolbert.
Tolbert,
yes.
Dr. Tolbert.
It's one of those things where if you don't ask me a question, I could rattle it off right through there.
Right,
so Bridget is our host. She kind of keeps us on track, and she's kind of the straight girl. Where a medical person, when we go a little bit too high, way too into things, she reels us back in and goes, "What the hell does that mean?" So that's really, really good. And
that is, and I'm sure she says hell.
We let her go.
Dude, see, this is great. This is a show that may never have happened if it weren't for America's Next Top Podcaster.
That's right. Look at that. You should take some credit for that, Brian. You should revel in that. That's awesome.
Only if it's good. I'm going to listen to an episode and decide whether or not.
Oh yeah, if it's shitty, Brian had nothing to do with it. Exactly.
I will disavow any involvement.
Oh, yeah. Just don't get too crazy yet, because episode 1, it took us. We're all virgins to Twitch, so that took us a while to try and figure out the streaming and then get our cadence. So we actually went a little bit too technical. Me and Jerry kind of got a little too technical for the first episode, so we're going to reel that in and keep it a little bit more friendly.
Cool.
And then we want to open it up to Q&A for the last little bit of the show, because that's kind of what people want, is to be able to have a doctor and a pharmacist where they can just bounce things off of.
Oh, for sure.
Like
yeah, absolutely. Oh, cool. I can't wait to listen to it. I hope I get to hear a sneak preview of it. I know a place I can go where I can ask to hear a sneak preview of it.
And as we're working on the feed and stuff, I can probably get you a link to it as well soon.
Cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Hey, have a good birthday, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's not till when's the 17th? Is that next? What is that? I don't know what it is.
It's in 5 days.
For 2 weeks.
It's in 5 days,
it's Wednesday. This coming Wednesday.
Yeah, can't wait. Oh yeah, it is Wednesday, because I'm actually doing Current Geek that morning. Or no, what am I doing to that? I don't know. My schedule's all gone to shit, because the kids and the wife are taking me somewhere, and I don't know what's actually happening yet. But we'll let you guys know well in advance if it's going to affect any shows. I think it should only affect Thursday, Friday for us. I don't know yet. I'll let you know. I have no idea.
We'll figure it all out.
I'm not good at schedules. Exactly. Dan, the Tabletop Man, Geek Jock blog on Twitter. Follow him there. Dan, take it easy. We'll talk to you next time. Bye now.
See you, Dan. Yeah, his audio got really. It's funny when you were saying, "Oh, he's cutting in and out." I had not had that problem until whatever you did after that, and then it was like, "Oh, he's totally cutting in and out."
Like it switched to you. I moved it to the central server, and it got less for me. But then toward the end, like when he just said goodbye, I didn't hear it. He just
I didn't hear it either.
Like this, and his mouth moved.
And when I threw out Jerry Conway instead of Jerry Tolbert, I couldn't hear it until he said, "What's Jerry's last name?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, not Conway." Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's funny. Jerry Conway's a fan also. Still listens to TMS.
He is.
Yeah. Probably just heard his name invoked.
Probably said, "I'm not involved in that show. I killed Gwen Stacy for Pete's sake. That's
right.
my claim to fame."
Yep. Cracked her head on the basement floor or whatever the heck that was. I forget how that went.
Jeez.
How'd that go? I forget.
Well, in the movies, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's right.
Spider-Man's web couldn't actually caught her and snapped her neck.
Oh, that was bad.
That was bad.
Oh.
Green Goblin threw her off the Goblin glider. Peter's web caught her, but
Spider-Man's a lot better now than it's ever been. So, enjoy. Time for your Twitter questions.
And you can always follow me on Twitter.
That's big thanks to Energy Secretary Steve Perry. No, Rick Perry. Steve is the singer.
Rick Perry. Oh, Perry. All alone.
He is of course not related to the show at all, but we do. Oh, you know what? This is the wrong. No, it is TMSPM. I did fix it. Let's see.
Yes.
Because we changed it, right?
Right, because we didn't want any more of your cricket questions.
You know what I've done? I've done this wrong though. Hold on. Because I gotta ask.
Dear Ask TMS, what's a wicked googly?
Wicked googly. Okay, here it is. Jessica Siep says, if you could live as a video game NPC for a year, who would you choose and why?
Ooh, as an NPC, so you get to choose like where you live. This is kind of cool. It's different than being like an adventurer. I think I'd still like to live in Nagrand in World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
That was still a favorite area of mine, but would I want to be an NPC there?
I don't know.
Just farming? I think I would. Just like be farming there all day long.
I think I'd do it in Skyrim. Similar deal though. I'd want to live in one of the big elven cities or something.
Oh, you're finally awake. Be that guy?
Yeah, I want to be that guy.
On the card at the beginning of Skyrim?
Yeah, I want to be that guy. Wait, doesn't he? I think he dies. Doesn't he get killed in that whole
Probably
thing?
does, yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe I don't
know. The memes always stop before that guy gets killed.
It's true. In the game before that, Oblivion, it was Patrick Stewart who helped you get through all that early stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, did VO work for the guy. It was pretty cool.
Ooh, could I be the Peter Dinklage Destiny robot? Would that work? Is that an NPC?
Yes, sure.
Then I would be that.
Well, you don't have to be him. Well, no, he is a non-player character, but he's not him anymore. That's a different actor now. It's, they got rid of all his lines and replaced him with somebody else.
I mean, Peter Dinklage is still Peter Dinklage, but he's not doing that Destiny thing anymore.
No. I mean, it's so much more. It's not even that he quit and then someone took over. They went and wiped out all the old stuff and redid it. So I don't know if it was a falling out.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They got rid of it all. They hated it. Players hated it. It wasn't good. Like, as much as I like Peter Dinklage, it was a bad choice. He was not good at that.
Yeah. Wow. So you can't even hear Peter Dinklage in the old.
Nope.
In the old ones. Wow.
You could play Destiny. Kind of a bummer. You could start Destiny 1, and you would now listen to Nolan North, I think.
Nolan North. Yeah, is what the people are saying.
And he's good at that stuff, so he kind of nailed it. All right. Michael Miller asks, what is your opinion on using bowling machines to train cricket batters? It's a very British problem. Very British problem. I have no idea that was even a thing. Is that a thing?
I think if you're looking for them to develop so I'm slipping in Australian, the required amount of power and restraint. But if it's just purely reflexes, then no, you can't. There's no substitute for a human bowler.
At the very end, bowler sounded a little Australian again.
A little Australian,
just at the end. That's fine. How about this? Peter Fisher says, what plague would you prefer? The mayfly plague, the Miller moths from Nerdtacular 2013, or frogs? Or even worse, pants, both in the UK meaning under and North America meaning trousers. I don't understand the pants thing, but sure.
Plague of pants.
I mean, don't we already have that? Everyone wears pants.
A plague of frogs is more fun. I'd rather have a plague of frogs than any kind of insect, especially if it's like a magnolia level plague of frogs where they're all falling down from the sky.
I agree, and they don't have to land in your mouth the way bugs do, and get in your food the way bugs do. I agree, totally with Brian. I do frogs. All right, how about this one? Katie Talmo wants to know, what is the weirdest thing we've ever done in Vegas? I.e., I did the Triple X escape room. It's inside a sex shop attached to a crappy strip club. The acting was laughable. It really was challenging and entertaining nonetheless. I've never even heard of this.
Oh my God, I want to do a Triple X escape room when I'm there next month.
I mean, I wouldn't have never assumed there was one, but now that it's been brought up, of course there's one there.
Of course there's one. Triple X escape room. Are there like people gyrating like in the room with you while you're trying to solve stuff? Are there people?
Yeah, dude, there are. There's got to be someone who signs up for this. There's some creepy dude in a really long beard and sunglasses sitting in the corner peeling his potato the whole time. That's going to happen.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. This thing just opened like at the end of April.
Oh, well. You should go so you can tell me what it was like. I don't want to go.
I think I kind of want to do this. Escape Vegas Triple X.
Can you get details on it? What are they doing there?
So here are your choices of rooms. You've got either Massacre at the View. It's a cold night at Deja Vu Showgirls, and when your party approaches the club's lobby, something seems amiss. Nobody's around, and it's eerily quiet, like on Father's Day. But the business seems open. I added that part.
All right.
Intrigued, your party continues, only to find that the dancers are victims of a bloody massacre. With no police in sight, you have to find your way out of the club before the stripper killer finds you.
All right, so it's just stripper themed? Like it's not...
It's just stripper themed. How about this one over here? No, both of them say this is an adult-oriented escape room. While there is no nudity or explicit content, all players must be 18 or older and must be comfortable with adult entertainment features. Because I think basically when you escape there, you probably just end up in the strip club itself.
Yeah, or the sex shop thing.
Or that's right, sex shop, right? Because it was
probably the shop because they want people to buy stuff on their way out or whatever.
It ends in the gift shop. Always ends in the gift shop.
Yeah. All right. Well, as long as it's not, the scenario you don't want is you're on a porn shoot. There are 14 ugly men. Like.
Exactly. You walked into the wrong strip club and the guys are looking at you like you're a piece of meat. Get out.
Yeah.
How do you find your way out of here?
I mean, honestly, that sounds like the weirdest thing I've heard happening in Vegas. For me, the weirdest thing was probably that midnight eating thing where we ate in the dark. That was pretty weird.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Right.
Depends on your definition of weird, I guess.
Weirdest thing I've ever done in Vegas. Yeah, the eating in the dark thing was certainly up there.
Igor.
Well, I've talked about this. Yeah, we're not repeating that on.
No,
I'm sorry.
we're not.
I'm sorry, podcast listeners. There are certain things that we cannot repeat from the chat room.
Let's just say we have a chatter who just cracked us up. All right, go ahead.
Yes, who enjoys the delectable treat fluffernutters. Let's just say. I've talked about this trip that I made with my friend Don several years ago when he, as a cheapskate, wanted to go to the cheapest strip club in Vegas, which is no longer around, but it was called Talk of the Town.
Okay.
And it was full of the dancers that just looked like they were just so sad and did not want to be there and made everything like uncomfortable and unpleasant. And we still had to pay $20 to get into this place, but he's like, well, let's go to this place because I can get a lap dance there for, $10. It's $20
Really?
Entry fee. I would not have wanted any of those dancers to be there any longer than they had to be there.
Right. No, that's funny because
Yeah.
I don't remember this story. You told this obviously, but I don't remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
Cheapskate.
It was on
stripper.
that same trip. KT Data remembers it was on the same trip where we had the offer for cities in your mouth.
Oh, okay. That's the same. Was it the same trip that on the way back he had really bad gas or something? What was the deal? Somebody farted a lot in the car, or something like that going on. Was it you?
Explosive? No, he had explosive farts in the hotel room
Well,
while he was sleeping.
okay, it's all coming back to me now.
It's all coming back. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That way, that weird laugh cabbie guy with the weird laugh that we
That was a
recorded.
different trip. That was a trip with Crazy Neighbors.
Oh, see if I have that. Cab driver. Should have that. Yeah.
It's like a Batman villain.
That's so good. I'm so glad you recorded that.
Forgot about that guy. Totally
That's
forgot
awesome.
about that guy.
Well, maybe we'll see him in August.
So glad I got my phone out to record him.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, one or two more here. Let's see. How about this one? What was your favorite firework as a kid? You mean ones that we could handle, I assume, not just watch. So I would say for me.
I don't know. They might, if they're asking about ones that we can watch, I do have an answer for that.
What do you have? What is it?
I like the one that so shoots up and explodes.
Yeah.
But you just get kind of the little faint trails
Mm-hmm.
of the things coming down, but then they all start going clickety clickety like with white sparks as they come down.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah,
the one that's
that's
like
the kinda-
I like the one where they shoot it up. Doesn't seem any bigger than the rest of them, but it
Yeah.
spans the entire sky.
Oh
Just-
yeah, with like a
Pow! Yeah.
yeah, right.
Like
right,
almost
those-
like almost like Gandalf's doing it, you know?
yes.
Lord of the Rings style. That was really awesome.
You shall be able to see your book with this lighting.
My favorite was that I could hold when I was a kid though was
Yeah.
Roman candle because I'd chase my brother with it. So I'd light it, and then chase him around and shoot it at him.
Ammunition, brightly colored, sparkly ammunition.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And it wasn't really going to hurt anybody, but it was pretty funny. How about this one? Aaron says, after you get a testosterone injection, are you Mr. T? No, I'm not Mr. T. I pity the fool who thinks I am.
Right.
Let's do one more, because
Okay.
that was a silly one.
That was a little shorter. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
He asked a bunch of these, like, if you stored your testosterone shot in the bookshelf, would it be Booker T? If you stored
Oh,
your
geez.
testosterone in the fridge, would you be Iced Tea? Like, he's got 10 of these or something. All right. Do you prefer... Okay, this is from Neil Patel. Do you prefer the Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat video game franchises? Brian, what do you like better?
I like Mortal Kombat. I just like the supernatural aspect to it. And I know there's a couple, Blanca and some weird supernaturally characters in Street Fighter, but I like everybody to have the Street Fighter.
I'm with you.
Or, everybody have the supernatural.
Yeah. Everyone to have the Street Fighter powers.
Everyone have the Street Fighter except the Mortal Kombat.
I also agree with that. I think Mortal Kombat has always appealed to me more. My biggest problem with Street Fighter 2 is I'm just not that big of a sort of anime aesthetic sort of person, and those games are anime as hell. So it just doesn't do it for me. Skill wise, I mean they're cool games, no question, but I'm more of an MK guy. Always have been.
Yeah.
That's it for your questions. Use that Twitter hashtag TMSPM. That's the new one. That's what we want to use, and we will answer your questions on the PM edition of the show each and every Friday, with the exception of next Friday because I'm not going to be here. I will be at some birthday getaway thing that I don't know much about other than that we're having it. So excited.
You're being whisked away.
Whisked away. I'll report back, of course. But before then, we got lots of other shows coming, including Film Sack tomorrow. So a brand new episode of that. There will be Dungeons, all sorts of stuff. So do check out the schedule up at frogpants.com and do it today. Vote on your show titles because we're about to pick those. Don't forget you can support us. And the reason we do a 5th episode a week is because of the support at patreon.com/TMS. For everything else, you can find it all at our website, frogpants.com/TMS. Brian now plays a song.
I do. This one is going out to another Brian. Oh my God, it's a 10th Brian. Brian B. He says, hello, Scott and Brian. On Saturday, July 13th, I'm leaving the place I've called home for the last 7 years in Pullman, Washington, and moving to Wisconsin for my dream job teaching college chemistry. I've listened to you guys throughout my time in grad school and as postdoc. So how about y'all help me celebrate one more time? I'd love to hear a cover of In the Airplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel, if you have one. If not, I'd take anything upbeat and about moving on. I leave it in your capable hands, cover master. I've got 24 hours of driving ahead of me, so any day prior to the 13th works for me because I plan on stocking up on podcasts to listen to in the car.
Nice.
Love the show, though. Dr. Brian B. Very good, Brian. Well, congratulations. And And good luck up there, don't you know? And enjoy those delicious cheese curds that they've got up there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
squeak in your mouth if they're
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
Got a little Arby's on you, Marge. This is probably the cutest version of In the Airplane Over the Sea. By the way, the clip that you always hear Scott play of me talking about how Veronica turned me on
Mm-hmm.
comes from Veronica turning me on to Neutral Milk Hotel.
Oh, that's from that?
She turned me on to Neutral Milk Hotel and the Magnetic Fields. And both bands I don't know if I would have found otherwise. And love the original version of this song and love this cover right here. This is Madeline Ava. I swear this is going to be the cutest version of the song you ever hear. It is her sweet little voice and ukulele accompaniment, just perfect. This is a single that she released in 2008. Again, Madeline Ava, A-V-A, In the Airplane Over the Sea.
All right. We'll see you guys Monday for more TMS. Come back then. And thanks all you live people. You're always a hoot. We'll see you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Thank you, Veronica, for turning me on.
Oh, it gets so short. Let's try this one.
I got to credit Veronica Belmont for turning me on. Great.
I might see her soon-ish. They're expanding the Adobe campus out here. There's this huge Adobe campus at the point of the mountain that's just like enormous, and they're adding like another 8 acres to it or something, and that'll probably mean she'll end up coming out here for something. So we're gonna try to snag her for lunch or something. We'll see how it goes. I haven't seen her in ages. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen her since the last Nerdtacular that she came to because she doesn't do BlizzCon anymore.